guys, welcome to Coffee Unfiltered. I'm Brian, and this is Durwood.
Hello.
We are here with our very first product review. Really excited about this product because it's something that you can find at almost any major large name store. It's a pour-over system from Bodum, and here in just a second we'll be showing you how we actually received it when we ordered it from Amazon. Hey guys, this is Brian with Coffee Unfiltered. So today we've got our very first review. This is going to be a Bodum pour-over. Just got this in from Amazon. We went ahead and just cut the tape so we can open this up, see exactly how this was packaged. So let's go ahead and pop this open. Alright, so pretty basic. What we have here is just a nice cardboard sleeve, some really good thick bubble wrap around it. Now, looking at this though, let's pull this out here. Get this pulled off here. Alright, so first things first, it made in one piece. That's good. However, I want to show you this box. This is a glass decanter. There's absolutely nothing that was resting on when it was sitting on its side. Just something to think about. Amazon does have a great return policy, but you might want to consider that when buying this because glass, and you never know how this thing's going to get shipped. It could get broken pretty easily. So just something to think about. Alright guys, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and break into this packaging, show you exactly what this came with. It's pretty simple packaging, like I was saying before. It's just got a little bit of cardboard wrapped around everything. So let's go ahead and break into this and show you exactly how this is packaged. So it looks like you just fold that back, and we got a few pieces in here. We got a nice little scoop measuring cup, shows you exactly how many grams per ounce per cup thing going on there. Got a nice little piece of plastic that looks like something that should be holding the center of a pizza box up. Probably going to be used to jam down in there to pour it in, or be able to safely pour out your coffee. And then one thing that really I do like about this system that I saw when I was purchasing it was that it comes with a reusable filter. That's really nice. You're going to get a better cup of coffee out of that, and you're not wasting paper filters, which is awesome. And then the last thing we got down here is some super sweet instructions that I'm sure nobody is going to be reading at all. But you know what? They're in there. So then we got our nice little glass decanter here, cork sleeve, nice little leather bands, whole 9 yards, and as we said before, it's actually glass, which is really, really encouraging for the price. Alright guys, so
We unboxed it.
yeah, we unboxed it. We've had a chance to finally go through, really take this thing through the test and really get to know this product a little bit better. Durwood, you've gotten quite intimate with this thing over the last week or so.
Definitely. You unboxed the sucker, but I brought it home, and I've been trying a few different types of grinds and beans and filter types through it, and definitely have found some pros that I like about this system, especially the affordability, but I've also found some cons using it. We've used it up at the coffee shop.
Yep.
I think we've found some ways that this system could work for most of you.
Yep.
And we're going to give you the full rundown here.
Yep. On first impressions, to be honest, we thought it was a hot piece of garbage.
Yep.
Yep.
Thought it was junk.
Yeah, we really did. It took us a little bit of knowing other systems and how they work to be able to really refine this, but we're getting ready to show you guys exactly what you guys need to do to optimize this Bodum, so that way you're not buying into something that's just pretty much completely useless. So let's get started. The absolute worst part about this product is this filter. When we initially unboxed it, we were thinking, oh, it's got a reusable filter. And on a drip machine, that's usually a very good thing. It can on a drip machine, a reusable filter will actually really improve the quality of coffee. As we found out through a pour-over, it's a nightmare to deal with. This thing is awful. This is what made this garbage, and we're about to show you why. So let me kick up the kettle's heat here that we got behind us here. And we'll go through a few other things. We did find that this little scooper does seem to be pretty accurate. It's got a 7 gram scoop size. So
about 3 to 4.5 scoops should get you in a pour over range.
Yep. And so the way we're going to do this is we're going to do 30 grams of coffee for about 400 milliliters of water. We find that to be the best ratio for just about a 16-ounce-ish cup of coffee. It's a little less than that, but we do find that that seems to be a pretty good ratio, especially if you've got a proper pour-over system. Now, just so you know, we are using coffee that was roasted yesterday. It is just now getting out of its off-gassing period.
We're very familiar with this coffee. This gentleman here roasted it.
Yeah, and so we know what we're getting into with this coffee. So we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the coffee itself is not the factor in this. This is a coffee we use all the time, and so we wanted to take that factor out of this. So as you can see, we got about 30 grams of coffee in there. And so next thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our normal pour over methods. The way we usually do it is in 4 increments of 100 grams of coffee, which 100 grams of coffee is almost identical to 100 milliliters of coffee. So that's why we're just doing the 400 milliliters. So what I really want you to watch for is how quickly the water starts going through this filter. It's worse than some of the dams in California right now. It's awful. It's just a flood. It's so bad, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's absolutely nothing that once you get that water to the edge that just starts holding it.
Instantly just pours through.
Yeah, look at
it just starts sloshing.
Yeah, exactly. And you get a little bit of a plume, but that is pathetic for coffee that has been roasted yesterday. You should be seeing much, much bigger of a plume. The water just fell right through.
It will plume momentarily, but it'll almost create a sinkhole moments after.
Yeah.
It should settle almost like a brownie, I guess.
Yeah. And you just don't get that because really what you're looking at is all that water just fell through. It didn't have any time to interact with the coffee grounds. It released a little bit of aroma, but you can barely even smell it. And as you can see, it just fell through.
So, it has nets all the way around it. Most pour-overs tend to have some way to get the coffee forced downward.
Yep, and that doesn't.
Yeah, definitely does not. And if you just slosh over the sides a little with your water, you're skipping the beans altogether.
Yep.
You're skipping the ground coffee altogether. If you're not perfect with your pour, you're just letting water pour into your coffee, and it's not even touching the beans due to an open filter all the way around, all the way to the top of this thing.
Water's going to naturally want to take the easiest way out. And the easiest way out is for it to go sideways, because it can.
And that doesn't give it time to interact with the roast of coffee there. So.
Exactly. You're not giving it time to really pull anything out.
It's just
multiple streams, 3 to 5 streams going on there.
I mean,
it's looking quite muddy.
Yep.
It's starting to look quite muddy and dirty.
Yeah.
That's one thing I found over a week or so of using this at home was that the bottom of my Bodum pour over here was muddy with coffee. My cups of coffee were muddy. I was getting a sandy grittiness in my mouth. We tried grind types from
all the way from French press all the way to espresso.
Exactly.
Coarse to extra fine.
Opposite ends of the spectrum on grinds. We hit the middle of the spectrum. We tried different grinds through this thing. Every single one was just murky and muddy. I mean, you would think you're drinking a cup of water out of the Mississippi River almost.
It was nasty.
Quite disappointing.
Yeah.
And we just think that it's going through and it's just pulling some dust down with it, and it's pouring through so fast. It's not getting time to cook and interact.
Yeah. And with a reusable filter like this, don't get me wrong, you're gonna expect to get a tiny bit of mud in there, but this was excessive, by far excessive.
We have some photographs that we're going to flash here on the screen and show you.
Yeah, it's awful. It's just so bad. So what you're looking at, though, is all that sediment that just came through the bottom. And keep in mind, too, the grinder we are using for these grounds is about a $600 bun grinder. It's an excellent grinder, ceramic burr grinder, and there's no reason that it should be pulling that kind of sediment through a reusable filter. All right, so we're getting on to our last pour here, and as you can see, it's still just going straight through. I mean, there's no resistance there. So giving it time to finish filtering out here and going through that. So we're just going to pour a little bit into the coffee cup, and that'll give us a chance to describe a little bit of what we're tasting here. So let Durwood take a first sip and see what he's picking up on, and take one myself here.
A little bland.
Yeah. I know what this coffee is really supposed to taste like, and you can tell that coffee has not properly extracted.
No, not at
all.
I mean, you just saw how fast it was pouring through.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way the water can interact with those beans at that rate of a pour.
No, and it's just so. I mean, it's just flat. You're not going to get the proper profile out of that.
You might as well buy some cheap grocery store coffee and use a drip.
Yeah.
And you'd maybe even get something. You definitely would get something less muddy and murky.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. So
this is definitely not ideal for a pour over.
No.
Open sides, water pouring all the way through, water pouring out the sides and missing the beans altogether. Mm-hmm. There's just no way you can expect a good cup of coffee with something built like this.
Yep. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and empty this out, clean all this out, and come back, and we're going to show you the best way that we've found to get a pretty darn good cup of coffee out of this.
May make it worth your money.
Yep, exactly. So. And the price is right, so we'll see what we can do for you, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're back. We got everything cleaned out and ready to go. So to give you an idea of what we're getting ready to do, Durwood and I here, we sat down and figured out what we feel is the best way to utilize this particular pour over for
an excellent cup of coffee.
For an excellent cup of coffee, exactly. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to take a number 2 unbleached filter, bleached, unbleached, just personal preference, unbleached for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this directly on the glass. And now what this is going to do for us is it doesn't give you a perfect fit. It doesn't quite give you the perfect fit. However, it does give you a much better fit than you might get from, say, a just that terrible screen filter. So I'm gonna wet this down. Now
it'll help it stick to the glass.
Yep, it helps it stick to the glass, and also too, it does help really get some of the extra papery taste out of the filter. And normally with a paper filter, you kind of just have to, with this system, you're gonna have to kind of work it back into place, get it stuck back to the glass, because again, this is not the way that this was necessarily designed to function. Now you just let the water go through it, and what I'm going to do now is I just got like a little spill cup here. I'm just going to take the filter, lift it up enough just to let as much water out of this as I can get out, just to pour it out and let it go. So,
little tip.
Yeah, just the tip. All right.
So that's the nice part about this having the pour spout. You probably could not do this if there was not the pour spout on the side of this. So
exactly.
That makes this possible, and that you can make good use out of a affordable piece of equipment.
Yep. And so what we're going to do the exact same ratio, 400 to 30 grams. So we'll go ahead and put a little more than 4 scoops in here of the coffee. This is the exact same coffee we used last time. This is our coffee that was roasted yesterday in a really nice solid off-gassing period, but nothing more than that. So
this gentleman roasted all the coffee here, so he definitely knows what he's talking about. We've been tasting this for a while. We're definitely familiar with the roast. It's the same one we did not enjoy on the first pour through that reusable filter.
Yep.
So this is the same roast. The only difference is the filter.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our little kettle here and just do a nice slow pour introduction like you normally would with
You notice
it's not just totally rushing out there.
it's starting to drip now. We have a single stream. It's definitely coming through at least half a rate slower, if not 3/4. Nice solid stream pouring through. It's just not shooting through the sides and coming out in 4 or 5 different streams like we showed you moments ago with the reusable filter.
Yep. It's got a nice pull, so you know that water is coming down through these through the coffee grounds. It's working its way through all the coffee grounds, and that time on those coffee grounds is so pivotal to making sure that you're going to get a good cup of coffee. Because if it's just rushing through, it doesn't have time to saturate and go into those grinds and pull those flavor notes out that you're going to be looking for.
So this glass forces that water down. It doesn't just pour through the sides like that other filter. This glass all the way around, that filter sticking to it, just really lets that coffee cook and put that water in the correct direction.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit on the sides there, but definitely nothing like we were getting. And this is almost very similar to how I would say a Chemex is, in that you're using the glass decanter itself here to hold that water in on the sides and force it down through the center. Really, while this is finishing up, I think our overall conclusion to this Bodum for us was it's got a beautiful design. It really does.
Definitely.
The cork neck that is normally left on this is just, it's a nice little piece. The leather it's a nice little touch as well.
Looks great on any counter.
Yep. And what would your opinion be about the glass quality as you were using it more at your house?
I quite enjoyed it. It was glass. And then if you want to pop this without the cork and stuff in the microwave or throw it in the refrigerator, it seems really thick and durable. Again, you saw that unboxing video and there wasn't much packaging in there. And you can imagine that UPS and Amazon banged it around a little. I would have confidence, unless you caught a bad corner, you could probably drop this in your sink from 6 to 12 inches and not have to worry about it chipping or cracking. So this is a very durable piece that I think is worth $20 in itself. So if you don't mind using paper filters, then in purchasing paper filters and your process works for you, if the process works for you doing that every morning and you're not determined to have a reusable filter, then this is a solid piece of equipment, and it's lovely on the counter as well too.
Yeah. And so overall, out of a scale of 1 to 10, I think just because that filter is so bad, it's terrible. We rate the build quality of it at about a 7.5. It's decently thick glass, but it's nothing like you're going to get with like chemistry equipment.
Right. But the cork and the concept is great. This is quite hot when I pick it up. So having that cork and extra stuff there is wonderful. It is a little bit of a wider grip. Those of you ladies and stuff having that cork, you might need an extra hand to support it under the bottom when you pour, but most gentlemen won't have any issues grabbing and pouring with this thing. So.
Yep. The brew quality that we got out of it, if you use this method, we would rate that at about a 7 out of 10. And that's comparing it to my personal favorite pour-over system, which is a Hario V60. It definitely is different, but it is also night and day better than if you use it with its regular reusable filter. So
you might could even use a number 4.
Yep.
We do have a number 4 size here compared to the smaller number 2. The number 4 is going to poke up just a little bit higher. So when you wet it, you might just fold the sides down a little bit, but depending, you can use a number 4 size or the smaller number 2 and probably have some pretty good success with pretty much a Chemex style pour over, I guess you could say.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So the brew quality is 7. User friendliness, this is where we really, really hit it hard because it didn't come with a functionable filter. So we had to use just our knowledge of other systems to be able to utilize this to its fullest.
Trial and error.
Exactly. And so we gave its user friendliness about a 3 out of 10. It's awful.
It's awful.
So where we're at overall, we would say probably about a 6.5-ish. Something around there, about a 6.5 out of 10, just to really know what you're getting into as far as the overall quality of the Bodum itself.
Want to try it?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. You can already smell, just smelling it. The aromas are so much more distinct.
The coffee's not murky. It doesn't look like brown mud.
Yeah.
It has a black, beautiful tone.
And that is a night and day difference. There's so much more flavor tones in that. Every flavor note that I'm looking for when I roast this coffee comes out about 3 times more distinctly than I would say when we reused that filter that came out.
Pick your favorite roast, ground it up for some percolator.
Yep.
For a pour over. Use a good, probably unbleached filter, but you're going to be 95% happy or better with your using a paper filtered method with this system. If you like the way it looks, we highly recommend it for the price.
Alright everyone, so as you can see, our Bodum is definitely dry. We went ahead and we're sipping on the good cup of coffee now, and we got it all figured out. So we hope this was a good help to you, and if you guys have any questions at all, any products maybe you would like us to review in the future, or if there's just any general questions you have for us, feel free to ask, email us, find us on our website.
Comment on this video,
Yeah.
messages, we'll try to respond as timely as possible.
Yeah.
If you got any questions about this system, other systems, we're always open to helping you understand coffee.
Yep, exactly. And we want to make sure that you're able to make the best cup of coffee that you possibly can in your home. So until next time, I'm Brian.
I'm Durwood.
And we're Coffee Unfiltered. You guys take care, and we'll see you soon.